want you to think about someone you know. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe, if you're being honest with yourself, it's you. They work hard every single week. They're not reckless. They're not blowing money on crazy things. They're just trying to get through the month like everyone else. And every month, they make their credit card payment, minimum payment, on time, every time. And somehow, every year the balance looks almost the same as it did the year before. They can't figure out why. I'm going to show you exactly why. And by the end of this, you're going to be angry. Not at yourself, not at them, at the system that was built on purpose with math to make sure that every balance never really goes away. Right now, Americans owe $1.25 trillion on credit cards. Not people in crisis, not people missing payments, normal people, working people, people doing everything right. Almost half of all credit card holders in America are carrying a balance right now. Every month, paying interest, watching the number slowly go down, or thinking they are. Because here's what nobody tells you when you make that minimum payment and feel that small relief of having handled it. You are not really paying down your debt. You are mostly paying for the right to keep having it. Let's use a real number. $6,500. That's roughly the average credit card balance in America right now. The average interest rate on a credit card is around 21%. You make your minimum payment every month on time. Never miss one. You do everything the right way. How long until that $6,500 is gone? 14 years. 170 months of payments. And when you finally make that last payment, you will have paid nearly $6,500 in interest on top of the original balance. You borrowed $6,500. You paid back almost $13,000. The bank doubled their money on your struggle while you spent 14 years thinking you were handling it. But here's the part that really gets me. It's not just the interest. It's how the minimum payment actually works. Say you have $2,000 balance at 22% interest. Your minimum payment comes out to $40. Of that $40, $36 goes straight to interest. Only $4 goes towards actually paying down what you owe. $4. You sent 40. The bank kept 36. 4 went toward solving the actual problem. And here's where it gets darker. As your balance slowly goes down, your minimum payment goes down too. So every month you're paying less, which means less goes to the actual debt, which means it takes even longer. It's a treadmill. You run and run and run, and the finish line barely moves. That treadmill is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. Now let me show you how bad this can get. The average person in their 30s or 40s carrying credit card debt has around $11,400 on their cards. At today's interest rate of 23%, making only minimum payments, they will pay nearly $18,000 in interest. And their payoff date, 22 years from now. If you're 30 today, you'll be 52 when that balance is finally gone. Still paying for something you bought in your 20s. Still sending money to the same bank every single month for over 2 decades. And that's only if you never use the card again. The second you swipe for groceries, for an emergency, for anything, the clock resets. And here's the thing that gets me the most. 49% of Americans say credit card debt is normal. Normal. And I understand why. When half the people around you are in the same boat, it stops feeling like a trap and it starts feeling like just the way life works. you budget around the minimum payment the same way you budget around rent. It becomes a permanent fixture in your monthly expenses. That is exactly what the bank needs it to be, because a customer making minimum payments forever is the most profitable customer they have, not the person who pays their balance in full every month, not the person who defaults, the person in the middle, the person doing just enough to stay in the system forever. And this goes deeper than money. 64% of people with credit card debt say they've delayed major life decisions because of it, delayed saving for emergencies, delayed investing, delayed buying a home. 5% have delayed having children. 5% have delayed getting married. Because of a credit card balance, because of a minimum payment they felt manageable every month while quietly eating their future in the background. This is not just a normal financial problem. This is a life problem. The debt doesn't just cost you money, it costs you time, options, decisions. The version of your life you could have been building while that money was going to the bank instead. Now, let me tell you something that people thousands of years ago figured out. There is a concept in Islamic finance called riba, and riba, in simple terms, is exactly what we just described, a system where interest transfers wealth from the person who has less to the institution that already has more, every month automatically without fail. Islam didn't prohibit interest because it didn't understand money. It prohibited it because it understood money perfectly. It understood that a system built on compounding interest doesn't reward hard work, doesn't reward discipline, doesn't reward doing the right thing. It rewards whoever is on the right side of the debt. The person making minimum payments for 14 years isn't struggling because they're irresponsible. They're struggling because they're on the wrong side of an equation that was designed to keep them there. The minimum payment isn't there to help you get out of debt. It's there to look like it's helping you while keeping you in. That is riba in its most modern, most normalized, most invisible form. Billions of people pay it every month without ever knowing its name. If something in this video just clicked for you, if you're looking at your statement differently right now than you were 10 minutes ago, that is exactly why this channel exists. Hit subscribe. Every video here is built to show you what the financial system doesn't want you to figure out on your own. Like this video. It tells me this content is actually reaching people who need it. And drop a comment below. Tell me your balance and your interest rate. Not because I'm judging you, because I want you to say the number out loud. The moment you say it out loud, it stops feeling normal and it starts feeling like something you can actually fight. So here's what you do. Pull out your statement right now. Find the interest charge line. That is the money that went to the bank before a single dollar touched your actual debt this month. Look at it. Because that number is not a fee. That is your money leaving your life permanently in exchange for nothing. Stop treating the minimum as the plan. The minimum payment is the floor of what the bank needs to keep you in the system. It is not a payoff plan. It is a staying in debt plan. Adding just $50 a month above your minimum on an average balance cuts your interest almost in half. It takes years off of your payoff date. Adding $100 saves you close to $11,000 in interest and cuts your timeline from 22 years to 6. $50. The difference between $50 more per month and the minimum payment is $11,000 and 16 years of your life. And finally, stop using high interest credit cards for things that lose value. A dinner out, a new phone, a vacation. You buy it once, then you pay 21% interest on it for years. long after it's gone or forgotten. That is not a purchase. That is a leak that never closes. Here's where I'll leave you. Only 26% of people with credit card debt know when it will actually be paid off. Three-quarters of people on this treadmill have no idea when it ends. Just a monthly payment, just a manageable number, just a quiet, completely engineered feeling that this is simply how adult life works. It doesn't have to work this way, but it will keep working this way for as long as you let the bank decide your payment instead of deciding it for yourself. The minimum payment is an offer, a very profitable offer for them. The only question left is whether you keep accepting it.